Hey, good morning or good afternoon, actually. Another day, another video. Beautiful day out yet again. It is summertime, and I wanted to take the time today and talk about hoovering and talk about the 10 hoovering tactics that narcs will use. Now, when you hear about hoovering is based upon the Hoover Vacuum, right? It's referencing the proclivity of the narcissist to suck you back in. Now, that doesn't mean all the time that they're sucking you back into a relationship with them. It just means they're sucking you back into being tied up with them, positively or negatively. Remember, narcissists live off of and they feed off of getting supply, aka attention, from other people. Social media, friends, family, coworkers, all of those give attention to narcissists. Now, suppose, for instance, they were with you for however long, and they then discard you or they dump you. Well, they're still, believe it or not, going to want to get attention from you. And they're still going to want to see and know that they can come back to you at any moment in time and get that attention, positively or negatively. So a Hoover attempt could be something to get you riled up, or it could get you something into thinking that, oh, well, maybe things will be different this time. And if you do your research, and if you do any kind of cursory reading of narc tendencies, you'll know these things, they don't get better, they don't improve, and they don't see that what they did was wrong, right? So I'm here to share these tactics with you, and I'm sure there are plenty more, and I'd love to hear in the comments what other Hoover tactics you went through. While you're commenting, go ahead and like and subscribe and all that, and share this video with a friend or two, or three, if you're feeling adventurous. But yeah, these Hoover tactics, they're designed to get attention from you. At the end of the day, it's all about attention. Whether it's attention positive or negative, it doesn't matter. They just want attention. And the only way to prevent that, because remember, you're preventing them hoovering you for your own mental, emotional, and spiritual, and maybe even physical health. Okay, this is about you. This isn't about them. It's not about being rude. It's not about showing you've forgiven, showing that you've grown, showing that you can be the bigger person. No. It's all about protecting yourself and your personal space from being ever invaded again by these types of individuals. So the first Hoover, right, is probably one of the most silly Hoovers, but they'll just, randomly call you. Oh, my bad, I butt dialed you. I meant this message for somebody else, right? They'll text you something totally unrelated to what you're talking about, or totally unrelated to you, and it's just like oh, sorry, oops, did I do that? Oh, how are you? Kind of thing. And it's easy to fall into that because you're like, well, why are you texting me or whatever? Then all of a sudden, boom, they got you on the rope. They got you on the hook. They're talking to you now. They're starting to get communication out of you. Don't do it. You see you see them dialing your number, they're calling you or texting you, or even if it's an error, or an alleged mistake, just ignore it. Delete the message if you have to. Hopefully that you block them, but if in certain situations you can't block them because, they're family or you have kids together, whatever, just ignore it, right? Nobody cares about that whole butt dialing thing, okay? The next Hoover they'll do is when they reach out to you, they'll do the whole, hey, I was just thinking about you. I went and I bought myself a tub of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. And it reminded me of when we were always doing this and that and blah, blah, blah. Don't answer it. Don't respond. Don't give into it. Don't go down memory lane. You can go down memory lane in your mind, but keep in mind that all the good times that you did have with these people were they're locked in memory, right? They're in the past. You can never go back. And number two, the good times are more indicative of you as a person and how good of a person you are. And also, they were constructed or fabricated in a way to make the narcissists make you think that they were the real deal. So if you get a just thinking of you text, hope you're well, all that other stuff, let it go. Let it go. Don't respond. Don't respond to the email. Don't respond to, the little message that you'll get from a mutual friend, a mutual coworker, or a family member. Oh, they just want to know how you were doing. Say nothing to them, right? The third way they like to hoover, and this is especially when they just discard you or dump you, is that they'll leave stuff at your house, right? Especially if you guys were living together, or you guys were going out for a very long time, and ultimately stuff is going to be at your house. They'll up and go. They'll be living with the new person, right? They'll be living with a new boyfriend, a new girlfriend, moved in and all that, but still will have things at your place, just so they can have an excuse to come back when they want to, and two, to keep you chasing after them, hunting them down, saying, hey, you need to take the stuff out. You need to take the stuff. You need to take the stuff. Oh, I'll be there this day. I'll be there that day. When I went through this and, my ex and I broke up, at the outset, I was like, yo, you got to get your stuff. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. I call somebody to come and take it. They weren't picking up. Hey, listen, garbage goes out, say, every example, Friday night, or these important documents, I'm going to send them to a mutual friend or to your family member, whatever, right? The point of the matter is, don't let them use that as a Hoover tactic. If they have things at your house, figure out a way, get a hold of their family member and say, hey, listen, I got all this stuff. They either need to come get it on such and such day between such and such time and such time, or you need to come pick it up, or it's going to Goodwill, Salvation Army, trash, whatever the case may be. These are the options, right? If they're receiving mail at your place, forward it to a mutual friend, or no, not a mutual friend, because that's mail, but forward it to, their new place. Forward it to, maybe to a family member, if you can, right? But pay the fee to forward the mail. Don't feel guilty about it. Cut the ties. Don't let them use that as a way to keep you on the hook for them to come back and be like, hey, just wondering, I left my eyelashes there. Can I come pick it up? Nah, right? The fourth way that they will hoover you is they'll leave business arrangements unsettled. And what I mean by that is specifically, like, for instance, suppose you guys are on a car note, or you guys are on an insurance bill or something together. They won't look to disband that, right? They won't look to either like take their name off the lease or, cut ties cleanly with you. They'll leave that up in the air. They'll be with their new person, their new girlfriend, their new boyfriend, the new supply, right? But meanwhile, their phone is under your name, their, insurance is under your name, all that good stuff, right? And they'll use that as an excuse to be like, oh, hey, can you, pay this bill or whatever? And they'll use it to stick around, get a reaction from you. My advice, and I did this myself, as soon as they're out, cut the phone. Take them off your insurance or get on to new insurance, right? Don't do everything on your own if you have to. They will probably be shocked and be, annoyed that you just, cut ties. But listen, your mental, emotional, and spiritual and mental, mental and physical health are dependent on you breaking ties with someone who's sucking the life out of you. Period. Right? So they will leave business arrangements undone. It's on you to make sure those arrangements get completed. Right? Push, do what you have to do. If you have to get lawyers and stuff involved, get lawyers and stuff involved. Hopefully you don't have to go there, but sometimes you do. Okay? And cut them out. Get free. Cut that string. Now the fifth Hoover that they'll use is this happens if you have kids together. If you have kids together, they're going to use kids as a way to Hoover you back in. Right? They'll hit you with hey, Johnny's recitals at such and such time. Mind if we go together? Or, hey, little Susie and little Egbert over here were, just talking to me, and they were saying, they really wish we could get back together, and how do I explain this? Things like that. Or they'll use the kids as, to spy on you, right? To let them know what you're doing, what you up to, who you seeing, who's in your house, what are you doing? And you gotta be very careful with that. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't, whatever I tell you is not legal advice. You can't take it as legal advice, but be wise and be smart with how you interact with them regarding your children. Be low contact, speak to them only when absolutely necessary, when it's coming to like arrangements and stuff for the children, and that's it. They may say, well, little Johnny said that, they saw you with a new person, or they see you with somebody new, and blah, blah, blah. What's going on? Just cut it off. Be like, hey, look, we're not going to talk about that. Or they may try to get the children to speak about them and their new supply and their new situation. Make sure that you tell mommy this, make sure you tell daddy that, to try to get a reaction out of you. Ignore it. If you gotta vent or something, vent to your friend, vent to your therapist, whatever, but don't go at it with them. Okay? Don't give them that satisfaction. Don't give them that attention. Because all this is they'll just suck you back into a whole cycle of, on the best case, they'll love bomb you, then devalue you, then discard you again. And on the worst case, they're just going to keep mentally and emotionally punching your head. And you don't want that. Neither one ends in a happy ending. Neither one. Okay? Keep that in mind. The sixth way they'll Hoover you is they will go to the same places as you do. Right? All of a sudden, they may live a half hour away, an hour away, whatever, and all of a sudden they're going for jogs and you're in the park that's by your house. They're shopping at the stores that you shop at. They're eating at the restaurants that you eat at. And saying, oh, hey, I was in the area, I was wondering, could we grab a coffee? Hey, I was in the area, I was wondering if we could just chit-chat, could talk. That's a Hoover. Don't do it. Don't acknowledge it. If you have to get a restraining order, get a restraining order. But, hopefully it doesn't have to come to that level. Just be like, no, sorry, not interested. Right? And the seventh way that they do that, which is tied into that, is that they'll just randomly show up to your house, to your job, to your kid's school, whatever, right? Hey, I was in the area, I was thinking about you. Can I come in? I need to use the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like weird stuff. Oh, there are lines at the store that's 5 minutes away from me. I'm going to go to the store that's near you and do shopping. Like, what? Really? And of course, our ego, especially if they discarded you or if you discarded them or whatever, our ego wants to feel like, yeah, look at them chasing me. Look at them showing up, right? And that depends. A lot of times it's like, listen, I don't want these people near me. Get away from me. Stop. Leave me alone. Whereas in some other situations, it's like, oh, yeah, look at that. I got them, eating out the palm of my hand. Don't feed into it. Don't buy into it. They out here lying. They out here scheming. And all it is just to show you that they can come to you whenever, wherever. And you have to set up the boundaries and say, no, you're not going to show up at my house randomly whenever you want. No, you're not going to just come to a restaurant that we used to frequent whenever you like. And no, I'm not going to engage in this conversation beyond this point. The 8th way that they'll hoover you is that they will post subliminal messages to you, or they will post about their new supply or whatever on social media. Now, best practice when dealing with a narc, don't go to their social media, okay? I'm speaking as someone as someone who's been burned by this multiple times. Listen, I'm not better than anybody, than your next average Joe. Ignore the social media. If you can, block them on social media and don't go to their page. Guarantee everything they posting is for you to see, especially if you were the prime supply. You was grade A supply. You was the long-term relationship. You was the one person holding them down through thick and thin for years, months, years, whatever. Guarantee they posting stuff just to get a rise out of you. They trying to show you, hey, look at me. I'm so happy, blah, blah, blah. Don't you wish you was with me? And they hoping that you're going to either do the same, post some nonsense on social media, or get back in touch with them, or try to, reach back out to them through mutuals, friends, family, coworkers, whatever. And then this way they will start the cycle all over again. Remember, the best way it ends is you get love bombed, you get devalued, and then you get discarded. The worst way it ends is that they just keep punching your head emotionally and mentally. There's no happy ending here, okay? So just ignore them on social media. Whatever they posted and saying is for you to see anyway. Leave it alone. The 8th or the 9th way that they'll try to hoover you is, how do I put this? They will try to start an argument with you just to get you to give them attention, right? And this is childish, but it's true. It's petty, right? So, for instance, times like, if you have kids together, you're going to have to be in touch with them in some form or fashion, unfortunately. So they will use an argument. Oh, I saw that you packed little Johnny's pink shoes instead of his purple shoes, and how many times have we talked about this? Or I heard little Susie, you didn't give her, ice cream at the park. She's supposed to get ice cream at the park. Like, simple, silly stuff. And they'll come for you. They'll come for your throat, right? And it's just to get a rise out of you. It's just to get attention from you. It's just for you to get on your phone or get in your email. And it don't matter if you feel like you want to curse them out or whatever the case may be. And they don't care about that. They just getting their fix. Remember, it's a dopamine high. When they get attention from people, it gives them a rush. It gives them a high. It's like, ooh, yes, give me that good stuff, right? Now, if you were in a long-term relationship with these individuals, you were prime supply, yeah, you got the good stuff, okay? Whether it's positive or negative, it's like, oh, yeah, I got them to respond back to me. Woo, let's go. You know what I mean? In the case of them trying to start an argument with them, just deflect, ignore, don't address, unless it's something which they're trying to, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but if they're out here trying to accuse you all crazy, they writing up false reports or whatever as different, even then, consult legal advice, figure out what your rights are, make sure you're protected. But at the end of the day, don't engage with them. Okay? They may be talking all crazy, talking about, let me start an argument about this, about that, about the kids, or about unfinished business, or why did you, cut my phone off that, you were paying for, this, that, and the third, ignore it. Don't engage. Respond, right? Don't react, okay? And if you do have to respond, listen, the best response is no response. Be silent, no contact, no nothing. But if that's not possible, respond. Don't react. Remind yourself, these people are trying to get a rise out of me. These people are trying to, this person is trying to get me to get into conflict. There was one time One of my narcissistic exes was talking to me about something on the phone or texting me about something, and I was just like, X, Y, and Z, these are the facts. And beyond that point, there was no other way to communicate. There was nothing else to discuss. And they were like, well, can we just get on the phone real quick and talk about this? Now, mind you, the issue had been resolved, and it's like, no, can we talk about this? That's a Hoover. They want attention. They want supply. They want that. They want that dopamine rush. Don't give it, right? And then the 10th way that they'll Hoover you is, again, if you can go no contact, but if you can't, you have to do limited contact. This is what they'll do. They'll share gossip with you, right? Some intimate detail about somebody, some family member. Oh, did you know Uncle Pablo, he woke up, his earlobe was itching. Or did you know, or they'll go serious. Oh, did you know so-and-so had a miscarriage? Did you know so-and-so is, they're in a relationship now? Did you know? All this useless information. No, I didn't know that this person had this issue. No, I didn't know this person was going through that. But guess what? I don't care. Because I'm not going to engage with you about it, right? Again, this is how your mindset is. Oh, blah, blah, blah. They'll try to throw in details about their life. Oh, I got to go, can you pick little Susie up at 5 instead of 6 because I have a doctor's appointment because you knew, that little growth in my armpit, I got to check it out. And I'm worried. Whoa. We're not here to discuss all that. You need me to get them at 5 instead of 6? Well, here's the deal, X, Y, and Z. I'll get them at 5, or no, I can't because I have prior engagements, but I'll get them at this time. You see? You got to shut that down. Oh, well, did you hear? I'm going through the... I don't care about none of that. Listen, that's not my place to discuss that with you. What's going on in your personal life or what's going on with somebody else's personal life, if they wanted me to know, they would have told me directly. I don't need to know about all that. Shut it down. Block that Hoover. Put a cork in that vacuum, right? Matter of fact, don't even put a cork in it. Unplug the vacuum. Because when you do that, you cut off their supply, you cut off the dopamine high, you cut off their ability to get a reaction from you, cut off all of that. It's done, finished, right? And trust me, it's not going to just be one time that they'll try to Hoover. They will try to Hoover you for days, weeks, months after the scar, maybe even years. Okay? I've known people who they divorced their ex, and then 2 years later, 3 years, 5 years, 10, 20 years later, yo, you ever think about what would have happened if we would have stayed together? Do you still have feelings for me? Or, just wondering if we could just go out for coffee. Still hoovering years later after they did their dirt. So, yeah, don't be one of those people. Remember, in life, you can go through it or grow through it. I hope this video helps you to grow through it. I hope these tactics, exposing these tactics are helping you. Put a comment below if they are. Comment other Hoover tactics, because listen, this conversation's got to get out there because there's so many people who are getting Hoovered daily. So many people, and they don't even know it. They think that the typical Hoover is just someone coming back and saying, can we try again? No, there's way others. There's way more Hoovering tactics, okay? So I hope this helps y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's beautiful out. If it's nighttime that you're watching this, whatever, that's fine too. Listen, you alive. You getting through this. You rocking out. You rock. All right? Have a good one, y'all. Ciao.